Welcome and thank you for joining us for our product reveal today. My name is Brad Factor, founder and CEO of EKTO VR. The team and I have been working in stealth for the past 4 years, and we're really excited to share this moment with you. Virtual reality technology is revolutionizing many casual and professional use cases, most notably industrial training. Market leaders have leveraged VR as an effective tool to recreate what would normally be dangerous, impossible, and expensive training scenarios for relatively small-scale environments. However, it's currently difficult to navigate virtual facilities that are hundreds of thousands of square feet in size. Large-scale scenarios require trainees to use navigation techniques that are hard to learn, disorienting, and distract from the training objectives. But what if you could easily and effectively navigate large-scale environments? Introducing EKTO ONE, the world's first robotic VR movement solution. With carbon fiber construction and proprietary drive technology, our product is rugged and lightweight. Worn over your shoes, they provide solid footing when you're standing still, keep you within the VR workspace when you're walking, and match your motion in the headset for a fully immersive training experience. Patent-pending technologies eliminate motion sickness, learning curve, and distractions, increasing trainee engagement and retention. Let's see how EKTO ONE enables navigating large-scale environments. Our first example is from the oil and gas industry. This training content was developed by ShinyBox Interactive, a software studio based in Houston, Texas. Todd Daniel, managing partner, will walk us through it.
We have created simulations for several Fortune 5 companies in the energy, medical, and oil and gas industries. And many of our simulations focus on reinforcing safe worksite behaviors, or they teach complex and dangerous job duties. VR simulations provide an ideal solution to training with hazardous and complex job duties. During this hazard isolation sim, the trainee will virtually interact with an energy system for the purpose of performing inspections, hazard identifications, and finally, they'll perform maintenance on a section of the system. EKTO VR is creating cutting-edge hardware that will allow us to make that experience even more immersive for future trainees and training facilitators. Simulating large-scale working environments in VR provides our clients with affordable alternatives to expensive on-site training classes, allows our clients to teach their new employees in almost any location, and it removes those inexperienced trainees from being exposed to dangerous on-site hazards before they're ready. Now, with EKTO ONE, we can simulate any sized environment and then walk through those training simulations in real time. This can be highly effective when training with job duties that are performed routinely. The trainee can become familiar with the layout of the plant. They can start building a mental map of the area they're going to work in, and they'll even be very familiar with their job routes before they even set foot on site. This can be taken even a step further when you think about the application of this hardware to design review sessions and how our clients take advantage of the digital twin initiatives within their organizations. Being able to walk through a processing environment in real time, using a simulation built from the actual schematics or CAD files of the plant before it is built, opens up entirely new possibilities. EKTO VR's innovation and what we can see this technology enabling is why we're passionate about helping their team show off their product.
Thanks, Todd. EKTO ONE is currently integrated with the HTC Vive and Valve Index ecosystems and is capable of supporting all major headsets. Likewise, our solution supports a vast library of existing content through smooth locomotion integration and will support new content development through Unity and Unreal Engine integration. Our second example is from the mining industry. The National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, or NIOSH, is a federal research agency focused on the study of worker safety and health. This content was developed by NIOSH's mining program for mine rescue and self-escape research, which EKTO VR is using to test EKTO ONE as we explore future collaboration opportunities. As you can see here, in a self-escape scenario, a miner exiting from this location would follow the conveyor to the rally point at the power center. When deployed, this content currently requires a gymnasium in order for participants to freely roam the virtual environment. With EKTO ONE, the same level of immersion can be achieved from within a standard VR workspace. While this demo only shows one participant, The content is designed for a team of miners to work and train collaboratively. With EKTO ONE, each miner would only need their own 100 square foot workspace, and these spaces could be distributed globally for remote collaborative training. These are great examples of what EKTO ONE can do and how it can impact the industrial space. Now let's hear from Antonio to learn more about EKTO ONE.
Hi, I'm Antonio Garcia-Smith, Business Development Engineer at EKTO VR. In the 4 years that we have invested in bringing this product to market, our team has learned the importance of a wearable design, omnidirectional motion capabilities, and adaptive control software. This has led to numerous patent-pending technologies that allow us to keep people comfortable in VR. The EKTO ONE boots are powered by the same industrial-grade rechargeable batteries common among cordless power tools, removable and interchangeable to allow for effectively continuous operation. Simply click in and power on. Then, adjust to your preferred size with the rear-mounted ratcheting crank, and use the additional bindings to ensure a secure, reliable fit. Designed with aspects of both standard footwear and professional exoskeletons in mind, the EKTO ONE boots are able to flex and follow your natural range of motion, making them easy to walk in and comfortable to wear. Next, Bobby will tell you more about the drive and control technology of EKTO ONE.
Hi, I'm Bobby Lee, robotics engineer and software developer at EKTO VR. When idle, everything is braked, so you have solid footing when standing still. When you start walking, our novel drive technology orients to your direction of motion. While you're walking, the EKTO ONE boots move to match in motion forwards or backwards. And even side to side. Whenever the EKTO ONE boots need to stop, they'll safely slow down and put themselves into brake. EKTO ONE uses feet and hip tracking data to determine and adapt to your motion in the VR workspace. As you can see above, when a person speeds up to walk faster, the EKTO ONE boots will speed up with them. When a person decides to stop walking, the EKTO ONE boots will slow down and stop. Using these methods, our solution ensures that you stay safely within the VR workspace. Because we intentionally let you move out of the center of the room, EKTO ONE allows you to experience the proper vestibular cues. This prevents VR motion sickness while creating a fully immersive experience.
Thank you, Antonio and Bobby, for those insights into the technology behind EKTO ONE. These technologies and a team with a safety-first culture from the aerospace industry is what makes us confident that EKTO ONE is an effective solution to large-scale immersive navigation. We hope you've seen from our examples how impactful this can be for industrial training, military training, and media applications, to name a few. We still have a limited number of units available for this coming quarter. If you're interested in how EKTO ONE can enhance your applications, we'd love to talk. Feel free to reach out through the invite or our website so we can follow up. Now we'll be starting our Q&A, where we'll take your questions from the live stream chat window. So if you have any questions, please submit them in the window, and we'll answer as many as we can for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And to give you an opportunity to submit your questions, we pulled together a list of common questions from prospective partners and customers. Antonio, what's our first question?
So Brad, probably the number one question that is asked is how exactly do you ensure users are safe while on the boot and in the headset?
Yeah, that's definitely a question that ties back well to the technology that we just discussed. So certainly tracking you through the space and all of our control system technology is what allows us to ensure that you have stable footing and that you're able to walk comfortably. In fact, that it feels just like walking in footwear. But a lot of that comes from the aerospace background that I mentioned, having over 8 years of experience working on flight control systems for commercial aircraft like the Boeing 787, and taking a lot of those key industry learnings and applying it to a more agile process. So what we've done is, we start out, we do unit testing, we do bench testing, we build up to integration, system integration testing, and it's at that point only that we start bringing in external stakeholders once we've ensured the whole system is safe and verify that the system is effective. And really what that helps us do is make sure that we're delivering a great product for you.
And going off of what you just said, one of the questions that we got in the chat is, do you need to practice walking outside of the headset before wearing the boots?
You don't need to practice walking outside. In fact, we found that people very naturally start walking once they put the headset on, and we just tell them, okay, you're in that environment, you want to walk over to that valve, you want to walk over to that machine, just go ahead and do it. And then we get the question, well, am I still in the room? And we have to say, yes, you're still near the center of the room, you haven't walked out, we didn't pick you up and take you somewhere else. It's that immersive.
Fantastic. Another question that we got is, how fast can you walk? And I'm sure that it's on everyone's mind. Can you run in the boots?
Well, you can't run in them, at least not yet. But EKTO ONE is designed for industrial applications where deliberate movement is really important. So evacuation training where you want to be cool, calm, and collected, where you're practicing procedures, where you're being very methodical, and where running really isn't necessary.
People are wondering what the weight is per foot, and is the weight of the boots uncomfortable for users?
Yeah, so users use protective equipment all the time. That's how field operators go out. They're wearing boots, they're wearing steel-toed. It's all about safety there. And really, our footwear is very similar to that. Now, the actual weight is around a ski boot a little bit more, but the natural flex that Antonio told you about is how you're able to maintain natural walking for a very comfortable experience.
And about how long does each battery last?
Batteries last about an hour of a scenario, but with a 30-minute charge time, you're able to maintain constant operation. So you run your scenarios, which will tend to be 15, 30 minutes, an hour long, swap out the batteries for a pair that are on the charger, and just keep going.
Why training? Do you currently have plans for a consumer version, something for gaming?
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the vision of where we can deliver this into the consumer space, but training really is where we can have the most impact right now, especially around situations relating to COVID, right? So a lot of people have had to pull back their training operations. They've had to go to a lot of remote operations tying into digital twin initiatives, and by being able to address this need, we can really have the most effect now. Now, future versions of this product will be targeted at more consumer applications, and we're really looking forward to the day when you get a pair of EKTO boots with every headset.
About how far away do you think we are from achieving that vision?
How far away depends on a lot of factors, but I would say that 2 to 4 years is not unrealistic. You know, I'm hoping that we can accelerate that faster, and I think with the team that we have, we absolutely can get that out there.
Are you actively looking for investors?
So that's actually a really great tie-in to being able to accelerate it. And we're raising our seed round, opening in about a week and a half, and that's really so that we can deliver on proof of concepts, pilots, and early deployments with these customers in industry and start pushing towards the next generation of a product.
Is it possible to have multiple users in the same space?
In the same space itself is something that we'll be working on. So you can imagine like a cooperative squad situation where you'd want people to be in physical contact. And then we actually could be able to path plan so that you could come close when you need that physical contact and then move back far away when you don't. But right now, each person gets their own standard VR workspace, but in the virtual environment, they feel like they're in the exact same room. And that's really the power of that collaborative training through EKTO ONE.
Are the batteries that you use off the shelf or specialty?
So the batteries are off the shelf. Certainly for different applications, we can look into what it will take to bundle them appropriately, meet necessary certifications and specs. But for all the applications that we're addressing currently, the batteries work for our solution.
How much noise do the boots produce when in use?
The boots are very quiet. with the headphones on, you can't even hear that they're running. And this has actually been something that we've been working on across the 4 years of developing this product, is how to go from something that has that wheel and motor sound that you're familiar with to something that's very quiet, smooth, and enjoyable.
When you stop moving forwards, do you feel that you're still moving backwards, or does it feel stable?
So you don't actually feel that you're moving backwards. The VR view will stop, and the backward motion is so subtle that you aren't able to perceive it. And we're making that even better as we advance our control software.
How many motors does each boot use?
So that's a great question. We have 4 motors doing drive, and we have another 4 that are augmenting the turning capability, and the really high performance motors that are used in the robotics industry.
Brad, people want to know, is miniaturization in the pipeline?
Miniaturization is definitely in the pipeline. In fact, it's something that we've been pushing throughout our progress. And if you saw the prior versions, I think you'd be very impressed with how compact and low to the ground and lightweight that we've made this product. But that'll certainly be something that we'll be looking at as we go to the consumer version of this.
Going off of the consumer version once again, have you implemented the system with any games?
Well, I don't want to steal our thunder of a segment that's coming up, but in the past we have integrated with some, and I think you're going to be very interested in what follows this Q&A.
What is your vision for the product, and what do you think is the most challenging problem to meet that ultimate goal?
The vision for the product is really, how do we have that fully immersive experience that can span across all industries. Now we're talking about a focus in industrial training, military training, and then spanning over to media, but it's really, how do we take virtual reality and make it a tool across all of these applications so that you really feel like you're there. Now, the challenge there, a lot of that is challenges that any company will face. How do you scale to fulfill market need? How do you keep your customers happy? And from a technological standpoint, right, we're doing things that haven't been done before in robotics. We've de-risked a lot of the technology, but there's still very exciting new things that we can develop to add even more capabilities to our product.
People want to know, are you able to have a natural gait while walking, especially given the size of the boots?
Yeah, so we've tested them out across a wide range of shoe sizes, down to women's 8.5 up to men's 14. And by how we position your shoe within the boots, we're able to maintain that natural gait across that range. Now, certainly, like we said, you're not going to be able to run in them, but for those deliberate movements where you're just walking, going through, servicing equipment, experiencing, understanding, learning, it's definitely not a problem to walk naturally.
What happens if you crouch or step to the side abruptly?
So we may show you crouching in a little bit, but I'll tell you that nothing happens when you crouch aside from you just crouch down. Everything's fine, you maintain stable motion. Stepping to the side abruptly, that depends on exactly what we're talking about, but we have currently a lot of protections in place as far as changing the motion so that it continues to bring you back to center. And we actually have a lot of exciting improvements in the software that are going in as we speak that will enable that to be effortless.
If you were budgeting for a training project that required the purchase of one unit, how much would you recommend we line item in the project?
So, great question. I would love to talk about pricing. I'll say just at this point that we have affordable and flexible pricing for medium to large scale organizations, and that we'd love to reach out and discuss your application and see what makes sense. So feel free to reach out through the website or through the calendar invite.
How hard will it be for developers to implement the SDK?
So we're working with developers to ensure that it is easy to implement, and we're going to ensure that it's plugins, blueprints, you've got a lot of great documentation, a lot of great examples, and you can really get the full power of EKTO ONE. Now, to get the base functionality, that's going to be very simple, and then depending on the applications that you want to unlock, we can figure out what additional integrations will be necessary.
A lot of people are asking, Do you see VR locomotion solutions like this being a competitive field in the next 5 years? Which competitors are you currently watching, and what are the pros versus cons versus standard VR treadmills?
Sure. So I definitely see this becoming a very competitive field. I mean, this is one of the big unsolved problems with VR is how do you take a room like the one that I'm standing in and turn it into a vast digital world. So absolutely, I think people are going to be entering the market, and we've seen some trends towards that. Now, right now, the biggest competition is really the status quo, right? There's been a lot of work to try to work around the problem and at least get some benefits without solving that. But really, it's coming down to, is it a software solution? Is it a hardware solution? What's the portability? How natural does it feel? Do you still have motion sickness when you use it? And is it something that people can learn very quickly? And those are all bullet points that we check right off.
And given the current capabilities of the system, how is side-to-side strafing and walking up inclines? Do they all feel natural?
Yeah, admittedly, side-to-side is still something that we're improving, but it's fully capable in the system. As you saw in the demonstration, the boot moves forward and back, side to side, and we're very confident that we'll have that fully available when the system comes out for use. Sorry, Antonio, would you repeat the second half of that?
Yes, the second half of that was, what is it like walking up an incline?
Appreciate that. So yet another situation that we're going to show you shortly. It feels comparable to walking across it when you just have flat ground wearing a headset anyway, but a little bit of the haptics that you feel through the EKTO Ones actually give you a very convincing sensation that you're going up an incline or up and down stairs. And that's something that we're going to be adding in even more capabilities as we go.
Do you need any damping between the wheels and the foot?
Damping between the wheels and the foot. Well, there certainly is a decent amount of structure between there, and the carbon fiber composites themselves actually provide a bit of suspension for comfort. Now, we're always looking to improve as we expand our pool of people using our system, how comfortable the boots are to use for extended periods of time. But at least currently, the structure does provide sufficient damping.
Are you currently collaborating with any other AR/VR tech solution providers?
So we've been in discussions with about 15 solution providers, and we're in various states of discussions with them as far as potential collaborations, partnerships, opportunities there. Now, we're certainly interested in talking to people, so feel free to reach out again through the invite or through the website, and we're happy to discuss the particular applications and markets.
Have you tested integration with full body motion capture?
Interestingly, we actually haven't. Now, we do provide a bit of body motion capture as is between capturing the boots, the controllers, the user's hip, the headset, and we can get a relatively decent inverse kinematic skeleton out of that to do a full body rendering, but it would be very interesting to see how this solution coupled with a full body tracking solution could empower a lot of interesting applications.
Well, thank you, Brad.
Well, that's all the time we have for Q&A today, but if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out through the invite or our website. From all of us at EKTO VR, thank you for joining our event today and seeing how EKTO ONE makes it easy and realistic to navigate large-scale environments. But before we go, we have one last special treat for you from one of the most popular gaming franchises in history to show you even more capabilities of EKTO ONE. We hope you enjoy.